WWE 2K19, the holy grail of the series, the game that all the fans love and admire. Was this game as good as the fans make it seem? Let's start off with the UI and the menu. This is the most boring menu in gaming history. What the fuck am I looking at? First off, look like you getting flashbang like you in World War II. I thought I left that shit in Call of Duty. Why didn't they bring it in my WWE glorious wrestling game? This UI menu is absolutely garbage. Like, I'm sorry. It would have been better if there was actual color. Like, I put a red backdrop or something, a blue backdrop, something to make it stand out. White and bland and black, it looks boring. Now let's head into the gameplay. This is one of the most polished games that the 2K franchise has ever put out there. This was a fun game. This was one of those go out and actually simulate what you see on TV. Like, if you've seen an Adam Cole versus Aleister Black, really great matches I recommend you to watch. You could replicate that in the game. Obviously you can't replicate it up to par, but pretty much put on a great TV match. And that is something that I don't see myself doing in like 2K22, 23, 24. The arcade style is just not my cup of tea. It was my cup of tea back in the day because I was a kid and I just wanted to, you know, do whatever crazy move I wanted to do. But now I like the simulation base since I got a taste of it, and that's more of my cup of tea. I like to have a Roman Reigns versus a Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns has to defeat the odds and get his ass beat and all that stuff. But when he's getting up immediately after every move, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. And I feel like 2K19 definitely they nail that part of the presentation for the game. They make the big guys feel like the big guys, they make the small guys feel like the small guys, and vice versa. In 2K22 it feels like everybody has a fighting chance, and I'm not really a fan of that. This is also the game that they introduced the payback features, and in my opinion I was one of those guys that didn't really like that because I feel like it took away from the simulation aspect of the game. For example, resiliency. It doesn't give suspense into the match. Like, if say I'm doing Triple H versus John Cena and I just hit John Cena with a pedigree, I know he's not kicking out the first, he's kicking out the first pedigree because of that payback resiliency, which is why I take it off personally. So I'm glad that they gave you the option to take it off. I think it was a cool addition. Undertaker and Bray Wyatt could pop up from the dark. The Mist, I feel like you only keep it for certain wrestlers like Asuka and people that it makes sense for their characters, but payback was never my type of thing. And then of course, as all the other 2Ks, their big selling point is, oh, we have 300 wrestlers, 400 wrestlers, 500 wrestlers. And look at that, it's 2K24, they're boasting about how they have like what, 400, 300 wrestlers. Yeah, 2K19 had a really good roster. It's actually crazy because looking back at that game, the company has like, everybody's damn near in AEW and other companies around the world. So the landscape of wrestling has truly changed in WWE. This was a great fucking roster. It's had a whole bunch of hoopers, a whole bunch. Next up, we got the showcase mode, and I know I'm gonna catch flack for this, or flack, or whatever the fucking word is. This wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't really enjoy this showcase as much as I wanted to, especially with the matches. Like, they gave you Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton in a random TV match. I like the Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. I think that was a good addition. Daniel Bryan versus John Cena was a good addition. Team Hell No thing was fun, but like, Daniel Bryan definitely had a whole bunch more fun matches in WWE. And the fact that they ended it with the tag team match of Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, that like, I don't really care for that. Nobody really remembers that. Like, come on, let's be honest. I definitely had more fun with other showcase modes than I did with this one, although it did keep the simulation aspect, which is fun, always fun. And then community creations, which is what keeps these games alive. Believe it or not, community creations is what keeps all of these 2K games alive, whether it's NBA, whether it's WWE. I don't know if PGA Tours has a community creations. They probably do. Community creations like the bread and butter for this. There's so many things you could do. You could create different arenas, you could create different superstars. There was definitely a time when I was playing 2K19 where it turned into AEW 2K because I was just bored of the WWE product. I cared about AEW, bro. AEW was my shit. Downloaded all the people from AEW. It was a really fun time, and community creation is what keeps it alive, because when 2K20 was in the absolute dog shitter, they stopped 2K21's development to focus on 2K22. They kept the community creations alive for 2K19. That was my game. I was stuck on that. 2K20 was not getting bought. Fuck no. After all those reviews, there's no way in hell I was getting that game. Next up, I gotta talk about the 2K19 season pass DLC. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this pack. You had EC3, Bobby Lashley, Leo Rush, War Raiders, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai. They added a bunch of new moves. It was cool. I really enjoyed this. EC3 was hot in NXT at the time. Bobby Lashley just came back. He returned to WWE. I was pretty excited about that. And War Raiders, one of my favorite tag teams. So yeah, I was having a lot of fun with this, especially with War Raiders. Man, War Raiders was cleaning up my tag team division, and I was having bangers with Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae on my women's roster because, yo, they need to get pushed more in real life. I'm just saying. Next up, we got the My Career mode, and like I said in my previous video, I'm not really much of a My Career head, so this wasn't my go-to. I did try it though. I did indeed try it, and I'm just gonna say right now, it was meh. You had to go through the indie scene, and then you go into NXT, and then you go into the main roster. That was pretty much the route, and I think that was the first time that they ever tried the indie route. I don't know if they ever tried it in previous games. I'm pretty sure it was like straight from NXT. Like, you were this indie star, but you were started in NXT. I enjoyed that route, but eventually things got a little bit repetitive, and it's pretty linear. Yeah, that's not really what I look forward to when it comes to decision-based gameplay. I don't know if there's any My Career heads that's watching this that enjoys the game only for My Career. Let me know what you think. How does this My Career match up against all the other My Careers in the previous games? And last but not least, we got Universe mode. Cats out the bag, Universe mode has not been good in any 2K. I'ma just be honest. It's the same thing. It's like recycle and repeat, just new gameplay mechanics. That's literally what's carrying the Universe modes. They give you the sandbox element, but they don't really give you the opportunity to explore, to give you the freedom making your own storylines. You're kind of restricted with what they give you, and that's not what the sandbox mode that they're telling you about. And I've actually had conversations and debates with people talking about the Universe mode and how the sandbox element has not been fulfilled, and they say, oh, creativity is an issue, you know, that you just not creative enough. But it's like, there should be no reason why I'm using a spreadsheet to keep up with my Universe mode. There should be no reason why I'm doing all the above and beyond outside of the game in order to make the actual game interesting. That's not how it should be, because there's people like me who are not going to edit a fucking show together, and I'm not posting that on YouTube, so there's no point for that. There's people that enjoy that and do that in their own time. That's cool, but they gotta cater to the people who are just want to play the game when they're kicking it after work. And Universe mode have not nailed that down. Even in the more newer games, I feel like the more newer games are even more uninspired than before, and that's kind of sucks because I've always been a Universe mode guy since I was a kid. SVR 11 was our first ever Universe mode, and I love that mode. That was my replacement for GM mode, so of course I was gonna love something that gives me some sort of control. That's my analysis on WWE 2K19. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. It was a really good game, a really good fucking game, so the fans didn't lie. But yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. I've been gone for 2 weeks, but I'm back. I love y'all. Have a blessed night, afternoon, and a blessed morning whenever you're watching this.